Okay, for today's purple to black belt class, we're going to be working on some striking, some kicking under pressure, seeing if we can do two things at once, multitasking when it comes to striking. Because if you're not just working on being able to stand there and kick, you're working on being able to kick and dodge and kick and block and kick and watch our opponent and things like that. So we'll be working a little bit and challenging that today in class. We're also going to be going over just some of our basic blocking in terms of like some sparring blocking strategies and Fonzies and parries and things like that. And finally, we're going to be talking about generosity, which is a super important idea in times of adversity, right? To be generous with our time and with our things. So a lot to cover today. Let's get started on some warm-ups and we'll figure out where we go from there. All right, before we get started with most of the class, we're going to do our warm-ups, right? Warm-ups are important to keep our body healthy and strong, right? So this is going to be a 4-part warm-up. Every move that we're doing, we're going to do for about 30 seconds, right? So we're going to start off in a fighting stance. We're going to have one leg in front, one leg in back. It really doesn't matter which one it is, right? You're going to be doing a lead hook and then a backhand cross, right? Now, the big thing that we're looking for as you do this is that you're turning your feet, right? It doesn't have to extend your arm fully, right? But we want to turn our body, start to warm up our core and our legs. My feet are turning, you can hopefully see that, right? My shoulders are turning, my hips are turning, right? The one thing that's not turning really is my head. I try to keep that straight forward. Other things to think about is, basic stuff like keeping your hands up, right? But the most important part is the turning to help you get you loosened up, right? So now we're gonna do the exact same thing. We're gonna switch to the other side, 30 seconds, lead hook, backhand cross, lead hook, backhand cross. Now, as you're doing a warm-up, it's important to breathe. Get your body used to breathing in, breathing out, right? Raise your body temperature a little bit. That's literally what you're doing when you're doing a warm-up. Gotta raise that body temperature a little bit. In and out, in and out. Almost done with this part of the warm-up. I got 2 more after this. Okay, next part of the warm-up, we're going to do some crawl-outs, right? I'm going to cut in some different views of this, but basically all you're going to do is you're going to squat down, you're going to crawl out to a push-up position, you do 1 push-up, you crawl yourself back, and you stand up with a tiny hop, right? We're going to do that for 30 seconds. Ready, set, and go. Squat down, crawl out, get your body nice and straight and flat, bend down for your push-up. Now, if you need to put your knees down when you do your push-up, that's okay, right? The important thing is you get that full range of motion, right? So if I put my knees down, still get the benefit, pick my knees back up so I can crawl, get back up. And if you need to, you can even skip the push-up. Makes it a little bit easier. You can crawl out, right? And then just crawl back and do that little hop. All right, so that's 30 seconds. Last warm-up move that we're gonna do, we're going to do some snowboard hops, right? Snowboard hops are a lot like ski jumps, only I go forward and back as compared to ski jumps where you go side to side. So we're going for 30 seconds. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. Ready, set, and go. I'm starting to breathe a little bit. That's good. That's what a warm-up should do. Right? You can shake out your arms if you want. Right? Tiny hops. Right? Make sure you have your feet underneath of you. And they're pretty close together. You can see that when I turn. Right? My feet pretty close. Right? A few more seconds. Almost there. 3, 2, 1, and that's time. All right, we're all done with our warm-ups. Let's get ready for the regular part of the class. All right, so for today, we're gonna be doing a couple different kicks. We're gonna be doing basic front kick, we're gonna do a lead leg side kick, and a hop step front kick, right? And each of those kicks should pose a different level of difficulty for you as a martial artist. And what we wanna do as we go into any striking, or really any drill, is to go in with some intention to improve, right? So even though you're doing something basic, you're aiming to improve. You're doing something maybe a little bit harder, you're aiming to improve, right? And for each of those things, maybe it's a different goal, right? So as you do your front kick, maybe you're thinking, all right, well, I'm kicking fast or I'm kicking high. As you're doing your lead leg side kick, maybe you're working on a form thing of making sure my foot is sideways, right? If you're doing your hop step front kick, maybe you're just making sure that you bring your feet and you don't cross them. Whatever it is, you want to have some kind of intention, right? Now, I'll make some suggestions as we go throughout the video, but when you're at home and you're practicing by yourself, you have the freedom to say, you know what, I know when I did a private session with Sensei Mark said that I really need to make sure my foot is sideways. I'm going to remember to do that, right? Or Sensei Angelo said I really have to work on not crossing my feet. I'm going to do that, right? So go in with a good intention, and you're going to get really good results. If you just kind of go in there and say, I'm going to wiggle my leg, well, that's the level of improvement that you're going to get. All right, so for these kicks, we're going to be doing 20 of each kick on each leg, right? We're going to start off with our front kick. Getting your fighting stance, think about your intention, right? Like maybe you're thinking, I'm kicking at head height, I'm kicking at chest height, maybe think about your hands, whatever it is, pick something. For me, I'm going to be thinking about making sure that I breathe out as I kick, right? And then I rotate my body, right? So we're going to do 20 front kicks. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more. And one thing, too, you want to keep that same intention throughout. Right? So as you're doing your front kick, don't say, oh, I'm going to do 5 that are high and then 5 that are fast. Stay with one thing. Focus in on one thing. Get that better, right? Rather than racing ahead to do something else. Let's do 3 more. 1, 2, and 3, right? And we're going to switch legs into the same thing. As you do this, you might find your mind tends to wander off, right? And that's typically why that's something that the instructor told you to fix, is because you don't focus on it as well as you need to, right? So really challenge yourself to stay on task. We're going to do front kick with the other leg. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Maybe you can hear me breathing. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. We're going to do 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Okay, so we're going to go into side kick. As we do our lead leg side kick, again, pick your intention. What are you going to improve on? Right? Now, if you're having a hard time, sometimes it's a good idea to try and understand why. If you understand the why you do that thing, why is it important that your foot's sideways? Why is it important that you can kick high? That will help you to stay focused on it. So that's a great thing to ask an instructor about. Like, hey, Sensei, why is it that I need to keep my hands up, right? Why is it that my foot needs to be sideways, right? Those kinds of whys will help you to stay motivated. So that's a great thing to ask an instructor about. But for now, think about what your thing is. Make a decision. We're doing lead leg side kick 20. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got to tell you, 6. I'm working on turning my base foot backwards. 7, 8. You'll be able to see that in a minute when I turn. 9, 10. And do a few more. Right? When I do this, you'll see this foot turns as I kick. 1. That's what I'm focusing on. 2. 3. Maybe that's what you're focusing on. I don't know. 4. You're in charge. 5. You're in control of achieving the goal. 6. The goal, of course, getting better. 7. Getting healthier. 8. Getting faster. 9. Getting prettier. I don't know. Probably not prettier. 10. Okay. Same thing. Other side. You're switching legs. Lead leg side kick. Probably have the same intention on both legs. You don't have to, but you probably do. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna say you probably do. 6, because it's normal. 7, have one good leg. 8, and one bad leg. 9, 10. We're gonna do 10 more. Ready? 1. Actually, I should turn for these. 2, 3, and of course, it's normal. 4, but normal isn't always good. 5, 6, getting sick is normal. 7, but it ain't good. 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so coming up on our last kick, we're gonna do hop, step, front kick. Again, think of your intention. Well, maybe I'm gonna make sure my feet come together. The why for that is, if I cross my feet, I'm a little bit slower. I'm also exposed to a counterattack versus if I don't cross my feet, it's faster, right? Maybe think about kicking high, hands up, whatever your thing is, pick your thing. We're gonna do 20 on each side. 1, 2, 3, stay focused. 4, 5, I'm working on trying to stay smooth. Don't jump up and down, right? Because if you stay smooth, it's harder to see the kick coming. It makes it easier for you to land your attack. It's sneaky. I lost count though. So we're gonna do like 7 more. 1, 2, that's what I get for talking. 3, problem with teaching and training at the same time. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we're gonna do the other leg. I'm gonna turn sideways so you can see it, right? You can see my feet come together, they don't cross. Staying smooth, I try not to bounce up and down. I think you'll also be able to see that a little bit better as I kick sideways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more coming up after this. 1, we're almost done with the basics. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. All right. So we got through those. One lesson that's really important to remember is when you go into an activity where you're just getting reps in on something you've learned before, you know the pattern, you're pretty confident, create your mission, create your goal, right? When you do that, you're going to be able to progress so much faster, right? Than if you're just kind of like, oh, well, time to wiggle my leg again, right? You'll get a little bit better, right? You'll strengthen your muscles, get faster, but if you train with intention, whew, that's the difference between getting a stripe in, 8 classes versus 12 classes, right? It's the difference between waiting 5 months to get a belt and waiting 8 months to get a belt. Really makes a big difference, right? So everybody, let's get ready for the next part of class. Okay, folks, so we're coming up on a quick kicking challenge. For this kicking challenge, we're gonna need a ball, okay? Now, you're gonna see, well, first of all, your ball should be pretty squishy or bouncy, like a tennis ball is perfect, right? And you can see my ball's got like Avengers on it. There's Captain America, and Thor, and Iron Man, and of course the Hulk, all right? But you could have a regular, basic, boring tennis ball, that's fine too. The key things that we're looking for is something that, like I said, if you drop it on the floor, it won't break anything and it won't break, right? So something that's pretty durable but safe to practice with. And what you're gonna see is, for the most part, we're gonna be doing a drill, it's toss, kick, catch, right? Really, it's toss, kick, recover, catch, right? And if you don't have the ability to toss the ball up in your house, because maybe you're in a basement with a low ceiling or something like that, right? You can do a bounce instead. So you can bounce, kick, recover, catch, right? But I recommend the toss for the most part. It's a little bit easier, okay? And what you're gonna be doing is you're gonna do 5 kicks on each leg, right? Where you can do toss, kick, catch. So it will look something like this. Toss, kick, recover, catch. And your goal is to catch it 5 times when your foot has already got back down to the floor. If you haven't gotten your foot back down to the floor, you wouldn't count. So you do 5 on one side, 5 on the other. Front kicks are first. Then you do lead leg side kicks, the same idea. And then you do hop step front kicks, which is the hard one. Okay? Now you're gonna have 2 minutes. If you finish in 2 minutes, awesome, right? If you don't make it and you want to pause the thing and rewind and do it again, that's perfectly fine. You can do that by yourself, right? If you finish early, right, you can challenge yourself to doing a different kick. Try a roundhouse kick, which is much harder, right? You can try, I don't know, back step side kick. Whatever kick that you want, you're gonna find hop step kicks are harder than basic kicks. Spinning kicks are really hard. Okay, so you can try any of those things out, all right? So we're gonna get started. Like I said, we're gonna have 2 minutes, right? Only count it if you kick, recover, and catch, right? If you haven't recovered fully, it shouldn't count. And obviously, if you don't catch it, don't count it. All right, so we're going for 2 minutes. On your mark, get set, and go. Toss, kick, catch. One for me. kind of the easy-ish one. It gets harder as we go along, right? If I'm ahead of you, that's fine. If you're ahead of me, that's fine too, right? Remember, it's gonna be front kicks. After you finish your front kicks, you're gonna do lead leg side kicks. So if you're already ahead of me and you can't remember what kick is next, it's lead leg side kick. If you're behind me, that's okay. Still work on the front kicks. I think I did enough front kicks. I got busy counting, right? Or talking. I'm gonna go to lead leg side kicks, finish your front kicks if you need to. So it's gonna be toss, side kick. Whoop, I didn't catch it. I don't count it. Toss, kick, catch. Toss, kick, catch. Good. I'm gonna switch to my other side. If you're already ahead of me, you might be doing hop step front kicks, which is the next thing. That's 3 for me. That's 4 for me. That's 5 for me, right? So front kicks, 5 on each side. Lead leg side kick, 5 on each side. Once you've done that, hop step front kick. This is the hard one. Ah, didn't make it. I told you it was a hard one. But you keep going though. Toss. Oh, bad throw, but I got it. 1, 2, quick feet. 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna do the other side. Oh, we got enough time. Hurry up. Oh, maybe I don't have enough time. I gotta hurry now. 1. Definitely not good. Not good. 2, 3, 4. It's gonna, that's time, right? So hopefully you finished. I came up short by 1, right? Great job. Let's get ready for the next part of class. All right, so today, guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about generosity. Now, generosity is a super important idea in terms of learning how to treat each other and others with kindness, right? And one of the ways that we treat someone with kindness is to show generosity, right? And when we talk about generosity, we're talking about giving of things that we kind of value to someone else, maybe because we value them, right? So if you sit around and you think, like, what's something that you kind of treasure, right? So it could be, toy, it could be food, it could be something that you're able to play with at home, right? So it could be a thing or it could be a person, right? When you talk about generosity, you're talking about sharing that thing with someone else. Maybe you're ready to move on from a toy and you're going to donate your old toys to charity, right? Or maybe, your mom got you a great, bag of candy. You got some M&Ms. And you love M&Ms, but you also love your mom. So maybe you're going to let her have a few, right? So we could talk about being generous with our things, right, which is important. And we can also talk about being generous with our time, right? So generous with our time might be like, maybe instead of sitting and playing video games for 3 hours straight, maybe I'm going to make sure that I get up and I help someone in my family today with something that they need to do, right? Maybe it's helping a little brother do their homework. Maybe it's reading for your little sister, right? Maybe it's doing some of those chores that you're not normally responsible for, but maybe you can help out your dad today with one of the chores that he can do, right? So being generous with our time, being generous with our things are all important. One thing about generosity, though, is you have to remember it's not generous if you're giving away something that you really don't care about or you really don't want, right? So if you're like, oh, gee, Mom never gets to clean the bathroom. I'm going to let her clean the bathroom today. I'm going to be generous and let her have that. That's not generosity, right? Or if you're like, you know what? This is garbage. I'm going to put this garbage in my brother's room so he can have some garbage. No, that's not generosity at all, right? It's when you're giving something that you value, like your time or a thing, right? So our kind of final thought for generosity today is, I want you to take a minute, and if you need to pause the video to go ahead and do this, go ahead and pause the video. I want you to think of something that you're going to do, one thing, right? Either giving one thing to someone in your family today or doing one thing, giving your time to one person in your family today, right? So really think about that, right? And commit, what's something that I can do today to make the people that I love or care about feel a little bit more loved, right? So take a second, think about that if you're not ready. If you are ready, let's get ready for the next part of class. Okay, folks, so we're going to work a little bit on some of our blocking skills. And for an advanced belt, we work on some of the blocks that we might use in some advanced sparring drills this week. So what we're going to start off with is we're going to just start off in a fighting stance, and we're going to just do some parries, right? Now, the thing that most people struggle with parries are, one, going too far, okay, make big movements instead of small movements, and then two, making contact with your fingertips. When you go to do your parry, you want your contact point to be closer to here than up here, right? Because you're dealing with a fast-moving object, right? Someone's fist. And if you are intercepting in this area, you're pretty safe. You have a margin of error, a margin of safety. If you're trying to make contact here at the bottom of my fingers, right? If I'm off by an inch, my finger gets bent back and it can potentially get broken. And I certainly don't want to make contact with my fingers because either A, I'm going to miss and I'm going to break my face, right? Or B, I'm going to break my fingers, which is not exactly a good thing either. So you want to kind of catch closer by the heel of your palm, right? Rather than up by your fingers, right? So we're just going to do a few parries. Ready? Parry, parry, parry. Now you'll notice this is a very small move, right? All I'm trying to do is take a hand that'd be aiming at my face and push it so it won't touch my face anymore. Right? That much. The distance you cover is not much bigger than your own head. Ready? Parry. Parry. And then you start with your hands a little bit open. If you have your hands closed and low, the parry doesn't work. You want to make sure your fingertips are about as high as your cheekbones, right? And you can just parry across, right? So let's do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's a little bit of movement, but for the most part, you don't really think about moving your body, right? Now we're going to do the same thing with the other hand. 1. Again, you see a little bit of movement in my body, but not much. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So parries are pretty simple, right? The big things to focus on, trying to think about getting it high enough at the start that you make contact closer to your wrist or the heel of your palm rather than up in your fingers, right? So you want your fingertips about as high as your cheekbones, okay? And that you just make that small move, right? So we're going to do 5 more. We're going to alternate sides. 1, parry, parry. 2, parry, parry. 3, parry, parry. 4, parry, parry. 5, parry, parry. Okay. Now from here, we're going to work on some Fonzie blocks, right? A Fonzie block is when you basically bring your hand back like you're fixing your hair, and my elbow is pointing forward, right? A very common mistake people make is they put their hand behind their head like this, and they have their elbow out. And this leaves my whole jaw and face exposed. I want this tight to my body, right? And this block is kind of a close range block, and you're just kind of absorbing it, right? So you put it right against your head, elbow points kind of forward. So ready? Fonzie one side. We're going to do that 3 times. Fonzie, Fonzie. And my hand ends up like touching the back of my head like this, right? I don't want it to be way back here, and I don't want to have my hand by my ear. I want to go way back like I'm touching my head. And kind of like you're hugging your head, right? Now you can do the same thing with the other hand. Bring it up. Now for this, I have to turn a little bit, right? Because if I just bring it up, you can see my elbow's out here. I have to turn my body a little bit more so on the back side than on the front side. So let's go again. Fonzie and Fonzie. Okay? So what we're going to do now is we're just going to alternate Fonzie with your lead, Fonzie with your back. And you see my elbow is pointing at you, right? My arm is touching my head. My hand is touching the back of my head. Right, just keep alternating a few seconds. Fonzie, Fonzie. Right, we're just kind of doing this slow. Now let's get some parries in. Parry, parry, Fonzie, Fonzie. Right, just some small blocks. Parry, parry, Fonzie, Fonzie. Right, we're going to do that again. Parry, parry, Fonzie, Fonzie. Ready? Parry, parry, Fonzie, Fonzie. Nice and tight to your head. I can't stress that enough. That is the #1 mistake people make when I see them go to do this. Is they have their elbow out or they have their elbow forward, but it's kind of detached from their head, and this leaves a lot of space. When I'm here, this covers my jaw, it covers my head. I'm pretty well protected, and it's going to just kind of absorb a strike, usually a punch, right? So parry, boom, Fonzie. Nice and tight, Fonzie. Nice and tight. All right, so we're going to do that 3 times. Ready? Parry, parry, Fonzie, Fonzie. That's 1. Parry, parry, Fonzie, Fonzie. That's 2. Again, parry, parry, Fonzie, Fonzie. That's 3. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to move around a little bit, right? And while you're moving around, I'm going to punch at you, right? So it'll kind of look like this. And when you see me punch out, you'll probably parry that one, right? And when you parry, you're pushing at the pinky side. So if I push here, you'll be using your left hand. If I come here, you'll be using your right hand. If I swing here, get that Fonzie up in the way. If I swing here, get your Fonzie up in the way. All right, so let's just go ahead and start moving a little bit. Look alive, move your feet. Okay, here comes a punch. Parry it off to the side. Parry it off to the side, right? And see if you can do it in a timely manner, right? So if my fist stops before you do your parry, well, you'd get hit because I'm not even punching fast, right? Parry, 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 Fonzie, Fonzie, parry, parry, Fonzie, Fonzie. And if you're kind of struggling and you're thinking about this, probably means you need to slow down and practice this some more because you should be able to do these movements, right? Your goal is to be able to do them very quickly, right? Without having to stop to think. So let's keep going. Parry, parry, Fonzie, Fonzie. Now I'm not going to give it away anymore. I'm just going to do it, right? Good luck. Again, you should be moving around a little bit, look alive, kind of like a sparring feel as compared to... Good. It's probably better to have your hands a little bit too high than a little bit too low for this, because that parry, it really pays to have your hand up higher to parry. Right? Not that you're parrying down a lot, but it helps you get a little bit on top of it. Good. Good. Let's do a few more seconds. Good. 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 And good. All right. So nice job on those blocks. If you need some time, go back, review this, right? Pause, rewind, whatever it is. But get really comfortable with those blocks because you don't have a lot of time to think. You just got to be able to do it. All right? So let's get ready for the next part of class. All right. So for our final challenge of the day today, we're going to be doing some bouncy ball drops, right? And we're going to be doing some parries and then some Fonzies, right? Now, what this is really a test of is to see if you can do these movements quickly, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start holding the ball up at about my head height, okay? And what I want to do is I'm going to drop it, parry, parry, get the ball, okay? Now, obviously, showing that slow, I can't get the ball quickly, right? Your goal is to try and get 6 points, right? So the way it's going to work is you're going to drop. If it bounces once after you parry and get it, you get 3 points. That bounced more than once, right? If it bounces twice, you get 2 points. If it bounces 3 times, you get 1, right? So the challenge is to do parry, parry, get that 6 points, and then do Fonzie, Fonzie, and get it, and get 6 points for that one, right? The Fonzie one is much, much harder. Make sure that you bring your hand next to your face, not into your face. Even though that's hilarious, let's not do that. Now, the time limit is 2 minutes. If you finish before 2 minutes, awesome. You can try mixing in parry, parry, Fonzie, Fonzie, right? Or you can just stop. But again, make sure that elbow's close on those Fonzies, right? So we're going to get started. I'm going to start my timer. Hopefully you finish. I'm going to go kind of slow, so I may finish, I may not. We'll find out. All right, I'm here. You go ahead and begin. Drop, parry, parry. All right, I got 3 points. It was only one bounce, right? Keep going. Parry, parry. Oh, 3 points again. That one worked out nicely, right? I'm going to do another one of these easy ones. Maybe you're ahead of you. Maybe you're ahead of me. We'll find out. Parry, parry. Okay, next, I'm going to Fonzies. If you still need to work on parry, parry, that's fine. Fonzie's definitely harder though, right? So I'm here, Fonzie, Fonzie. That one bounces twice, so I'm only going to give myself 2 points, right? I have to get to 6 for this one. I'm here, hold it out as high as my own head, drop it, Fonzie, Fonzie. Oh, bounce twice. I got 2 more points. If I get 2 more, I'm gonna win, but that's okay. I'll keep practicing. Ready? I'm here, I drop, Fonzie. Oh, that was bad. I'm not going to accept that, right? I didn't like those Fonzies. I kind of rushed it. I don't want to rush it. Ready? Here, Fonzie, Fonzie. All right, so I've got my 6, but I'm going to keep going just for the rest of the time. Here, drop it, Fonzie, Fonzie. Good. All right, I'm going to keep going. Maybe you're done. If you're done, you can keep practicing. You can try parry, parry, Fonzie, Fonzie. Right? But that's much harder, right? Here we go. And parry, parry, Fonzie, Fonzie. Oh, I got 2 points in that one. Ready? Parry, parry, Fonzie, Fonzie. Oh, I think I only got 1 point in that. But that's okay. We just keep practicing, right? And again, if you're still working parry, parry, that's what you're doing. That's the right thing for you. Try and get to 6, though. 6 points. Fonzie, Fonzie. Ooh, 2 bounces. It's close. Parry. 2 bounces. We're almost out of time. You got about 20 seconds left. Hopefully you're done. If you're not done, that's all right. You can stay after if you want. You can pause the thing. Do as much as you want. That wasn't good. I was too busy talking. Here you go. Fonzie. All right. Make sure that elbow's close if you do Fonzies. Elbow close. Good. And that's time, guys. All right, so that's a good challenge to work on, seeing if you can do those blocks under pressure. Great job today. Looking forward to seeing you in class really soon.